Hello, everyone, and welcome to My Clash Podcast, episode 57, part 2.
This is episode 57, part 2. Can
we just call it 58? Just like steal an extra week?
I don't know that we can call it 58. 57B? 57B, is that good?
It's fine with me.
I can take it either way. So, yes, indeed, welcome to the Mind Clash Podcast. We are running extremely late on Tuesday night, which was not our regular day, but we were going into about 2 hours. So we thought we'd cut it and make it a two-parter. A cliffhanger, if you will. So tonight with us, we have some regular guests. We have Orion Sasolo.
Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. And then we have a new guest, I believe, Knight Maulorant.
And hello.
And let's see, I see you fly with Nosav. What do you do in the EVE Online?
I fly in Logi Combat, basically that. So.
Neato. And I'm assuming you were in the Nosav party scene in Vegas?
No, I am too young to drink, so I did not go.
That sounds like a horrible excuse.
Also, funds.
Very.
Funds. Oh,
and then,
geez.
And then returning from Tuesday night is Nama.
Hello.
What up? So yeah, as we said, we're going to be going over the rest of the Vegas thing, but we do have a tad bit of news because, believe it or not, some things have happened since Tuesday to today. So no, Stuffs, it's not too late to join on comms. Come on in.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, come on, it's just Stuffs. So yeah, we got a little bit of news. Some things did happen. So I'll go over that right now while Merdud is working his magic on the video. So it appears that the culture has left Fountain. I don't know if you really call it left so much as maneuvered out strategically by the initiative. So the initiative is now in Fountain, which is giving the Imperium more renter space, while the Heathens, which consists of Iron Armada, which is Merdud, and Fane and Wild Hunt, apparently they are expanding their influence and sovereignty in that region. So good for you guys. So I'm going to go ahead and link an article that kind of gives all that little bit of news. It's from Eve News 24.
From Kurt, who is a former member of Relax, aka Lethal Injection.
Good. It's a pretty good article by him. And then also we were talking on Tuesday regarding the whole Jay Mercade situation and whatever was happening with that between the Guardians of the Galaxy and DRF. I thought, there's no way. It's not, it's just Diplo stuff and shenanigans. But no, I guess Guardians of the Galaxy, we are indeed going to war with DRF. And that has been kicking off, and we've been doing a lot of moves, capital fleet moves into their region and staging. So unfortunately, I was not there. What was it? Wednesday? I believe it was Wednesday that they did the couple fights. There was a Keepstar fight, 4-star fight in MTO. So that went down not so great on the side of Guardians of the Galaxy. They lost the Keepstar. However, they did win the ISK war. I want to say it was like 53% to 47%. As far as percentage goes, I don't know what the exact billions and trillions of ISK it was. Anybody have that number?
It was 470 for one side and 430 for the other.
Yeah.
It was pretty close considering the amount of ships lost. Like, the attackers lost all of the dreads. Like, some guys were losing 3 or 4 dreads personally, and I heard rumors of like multi-boxers who had 4 dreads on the field, and they each lost 3 or 4 dreads.
That's probably true.
It's crazy.
That's probably very, very true.
If I'm reading this correctly, they lost 110 dreads.
RIP.
I need to stage more dreads. Apparently, this is a thing.
I
Yeah.
posted the EFV battle report Rabil put together after fixing EFV.
Oh, those numbers hurt my tiny mind.
They did have some very innovative tactics in an anti-keepstart battle. The standard way previously has been to use subcaps or to use carriers and kill the fighters. What they did was they put dreads in small caches around the keepstar and kept jumping in different locations, so to make the fighters from the super defending force have to run around the entire time.
Yeah, and the challenge there is you got to have multiple fleets with multiple FCs, or at least people relaying information or working for themselves, and that's just outside of the normal typical block conflict intelligence.
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't realize how much effort actually goes in this kind of stuff, because there was multiple move ops going on, in each time zone. And, I like to get up early in the morning, about 4:30, 5 o'clock, and I happened to get on this morning, and move my Thanatos over there. So, and that was all an EU time zone, really. So there's a lot goes into that kind of stuff.
You gotta figure each time zone is gonna have its own move op.
And then each guy with multiple large fleets of personal ships, they're going to have to move them all themselves.
Yeah. So there was that. It's a thing. It's happening, and there's actually another. Oh, I want to say it was a Fortizar timer. I can't remember where it was this evening. It was about 2 hours ago, but I was there for that with the Guardians guys, so it was fun.
Do you believe GOTG will drop another keepstar?
Oh yes. Yeah, I know that one. That one was already reimbursed.
I was gonna say they're one of the few groups that have the ISK to be able to just kind of do that kind of thing.
Yeah, that one that was lost was already reimbursed, like almost immediately.
I think it's more of a question of when.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
We had 2 new people join us. We should get their intros before we get back into Vegas stuff.
Yes, we do have a Senor Stuffs, LT Senor. What is up?
Hola. No es bueno. Es muy malo.
No, I thought you're kind of not bueno. You finally got a night off, but you decided to spend it with us. Congratulations, you suck.
I know, right?
Yeah. And then we have another returning guest, Cyclohexanol.
Hey, what's shaking?
Meridud was shaking earlier. I saw him doing it.
You have no proof?
Damn. I demand video.
That's true. Well, no, it was on the video like a few minutes ago right here.
There might be video of me shaking at the party on Saturday night. Who knows?
That was wobbling.
Not Thursday night. Saturday night.
So have we given up trying to call it dancing?
It was never dancing. It was always just attempting to move in a non-fluid motion.
I like that. But yeah, so here we are, all 7 of us, 8 of us,
7.
7 of us, however many there are. We're here to finish up Eve Vegas. Where did we finish off? Did we finish the party on Saturday night? Did we finish that?
It never finished. It just kept going.
Wow. Clearly.
I'm still partying. I don't know about y'all.
Yeah.
My liver's still partying. Like every time I step.
As you all were coming down from your Molly highs and your pop lock and drop in from the night before, I don't know what was going on. A previous guest, several time guest of the show, Mr. Silicone Buddha, did his presentation on day 3, Sunday morning, bright and early. I don't know if it was bright and early, but probably earlier than you guys wanted to get up. He was doing a presentation on meditation and how that can help improve your mood and experience in EVE Online. Did anybody happen to catch that besides myself?
That was at breakfast.
I was drunk.
Pretty sure I was asleep.
I was awake, but I played Spark instead.
Mhm. So I was awake and I was watching it on my TV because, of course, I was not there. Thank you, Rain Chocolate, for retweeting us. Um, I if anybody doesn't remember Silicon Buddha, he was on here before, and he's like the founder slash, I don't know if you want to call him CEO, because I don't know if they really have an in-game presence of Utopia 42, which is like a website. Kind of sounds like a pyramid scheme, but I'm not going to go ahead and say that because I do like the guy. Um, but it's all about mindful meditation, and if you give him a few dollars, he'll help lead you to enlightenment. So I don't know, but as silly as it might seem, he actually had some really good pointers and tips on mindful meditation and how to kind of like relax and not be such an asshat in Eve Online.
Impossible.
So as silly as it may seem, I know this. It's crazy, but no, it was good stuff. It was really enlightening. It was very open and honest, and he was dressed very sharply. I will say that.
Meditation is something. Even I'm writing about it for a paper for alternate treatments for PTSD.
Yeah.
The meditation itself can help deal with things like depression and things associated with PTSD. So it makes sense.
Yeah, I'm actually listening to another a podcast about Timothy Leary and the effects of LSD, and how at the end of his whole trip, he decided, he wanted to have people use meditation as a means of relaxing and trying to get into a better mood. So, yeah, I mean, it's proven science that meditation does help improve cognitive thinking and relaxation. So, yeah, I mean, it's good stuff. A lot of the chat wasn't so into it. There was a few comments that I will go through. Some good comments from Miss Moses was, "This is very valid for a lot of the Eve community. Good on CCP for taking it on." Fringe Raza DM said, "Good topic to cover." And Eli Wolf said, "As much anger that is on Eve, people could use some treatment in Eve." True story. Bad comments. MH Armless says, "Trench coat wearing guy talking about online bullying." And Plague Tower of Nurgle says, "If he starts trying to sell ShamWows, I'm out." He does have that kind of demeanor about him where he sounds like he's trying to sell you something. But I do like him. He's a good guy.
I'm just going to comment on how important this is for like in general, because you can tell the ETH community is a salty one at best.
So much salt.
But something like this really shows the heart of good and caring in the community. Things like this and broadcast for reps, that the community cares for everyone in the community. If there's ever issues, there are people in the community that can help you.
Yeah, I liked his presentation. Mike's presentation, and let's see. Last year there was Jay. Did Jay do his presentation last year on Eve Best of Us?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, so I mean, stuff like that. It's really good, and it's good to know that the community is out there. It's helpful, and we want to help you because it's this game is rough, to say the least.
And you'll notice like the Eve Best of Us channel and the in-game channel, as much fun as the banter between one another, we try to keep that stuff as friendly and non-invasive as possible, so people who need the help can, say something, not afraid to because of a bias one way or the other.
Yeah, for sure. Then after that, we had Killing in the Name of Bob. This was a wormhole PvP primer by a couple of individuals from Pos Party, and I apologize because I'd never heard of Pos Party, so I wrote in the notes, never heard of them.
Blasphemy.
Yeah, have you guys heard of them? I've never heard of them.
I fight Boss Party all the time.
Those dirty wormhole people.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, watch yourself.
But a Kaskora Yari and Eveline Voss gave this presentation. It was just I mean, it was stuff that I already knew because I lived in a wormhole for 6 months, so there's nothing surprising to me. But for somebody who doesn't live in a wormhole or never has been through a wormhole, it might have been pretty good. It's pretty good for them. I sat through that, so that was fun.
I unfortunately did not get to see it. I was kind of looking forward to it though, because those are good people.
One thing that I don't think we really went over last time, and we haven't gone over yet, is the other presentations that weren't necessarily streamed. Did you guys go into anything that was not streamed? That was part of like the player presentations or like a panel or something like that?
I hit up half a lore panel with Merida, and then I got high.
I could dig that.
Yeah, I took in the lore round table. I took in the structures round table, and I took in the modules and balance round tables. I think about those round tables is I find that there is like one or two moments where the dev will be like, "Oh, hey, yeah, that's a good idea." There'll be 3 moments where the dev almost face palms and just gives the most standard CCP answer. And then there's like 15 really spurgy questions about really in-depth topic things that you could just stop the dev in the hallway and ask them a question about it, and they would answer with the same deflection as you're going to get in front of a community of, or a group of 40 people.
So what you're saying, it was just like any other Q&A we've seen CCP do.
Yes, because they can't talk about things that are coming, right? They can only talk about what they've announced and maybe what they'd like to do. But they always disclaimer it with like no promises, can't promise anything. This is something we can't do at the moment, but I'd like to do in the future.
We're looking into it. Yeah, we're looking into it.
Legal reasons.
The problem, but
I'd like to point out we just lost a member.
What's up?
Nama,
We just lost Nama.
Oh no!
We'll grab him.
Nama ding dong.
Yo, he said, "Gotta go. PL supers are tackled."
Yeah, right.
Did you say where?
He did not say where.
He said PL Super. It's curse catch area. Impasse, maybe.
Just look for the 2K local.
That's amusing.
So,
Or wait for PL to start spamming their fax alts in.
okay, so you guys went to the lore panel and all that. Sounds like a pretty good time, yeah.
What was nice, Affinity and Falcon were here this year. And in previous years, it was just, or last year it was just Falcon, and the year before it was Falcon, Affinity, and the third person who works on lore.
That's a good name to be remembered by.
No, it's the person who does a lot of writing for like the books and canon stuff. Can't remember at the moment, but all 3 of them were there in 2015. So having 2 of them there, at least we could bounce questions off both of them. And Falcon always has amusing answers because he's really sharp and he can just like troll you as well as give you a serious answer. And he's a repository of just amazing amounts of knowledge about the backstory of the game. So that was fun. It's always fun.
I'm sorry, I heard something about a depository.
No, repository.
Okay.
Yeah, don't be a weirdo.
I think the interesting thing that came out of that one was that all of the Drifter wormhole stuff, so around like the 5 Drifter battleship wormholes and the pickup stick Stargate stuff, it sounds like that is already developed. Like that storyline is built and it's on a shelf and it's waiting for player Stargates.
Clearly, it's on a shelf. I think we are all aware of that.
But it's done. It's done. It's ready to go. They're just waiting for the rest of the in-game developments to move forward enough that they can release that lore and storyline development.
Well, I want it.
I guess the other fun thing was they were talking about what pirate faction they would like to do next. And it seems like the consensus among the lore people, and as well as Rise and Falcon, was the 7. and making the 7 into a playable.
What is that?
They're like a group of mercs who get pounded on in the regular kind of PvE missions a lot of the times.
I've never heard of this.
Yeah, the 7.
Are their codename Brave?
No. But they're always on the losing side of Capsuleer violence.
I see what you did there.
But there's one faction pairing that they're looking to do. Minmatar Amar? No.
Yeah, I think there's still one pairing that hasn't been done yet, so it makes sense to do one.
Isn't that Amatar?
I believe Kaldari Mimitar is not done yet.
That one.
That'd be weird.
That would be weird.
So yeah, they were talking about what pirate faction they could flush out to be that one. They also told us about the Cult of Man. No, it's not the Cult of Man. It's the... There's like a death cult in the game, and they were supposed to be the Incursion faction, but they decided to move away from that and go Sanches because there was more background and story to the Sanches. So they just used that as their Incursion rat instead of that other faction. So that's why there's so much Sanchez stuff out there, and that's actually why they're waiting on this some of the other Sanchez stuff.
Head versus Brick Wall says Equilibrium of Mankind, if he recalls.
That guy, he knows what I'm talking about.
That's the guy right there. Thank you. Head versus Brick Wall. I'm sure that hurt.
No way, another one for no solve.
No way.
So anyways, that one's the most fun because there's so much backstory stuff that you potentially could talk about. I mean, we pushed them on replacing some of the abandoned sites, and I asked Falcon personally if we could move to like having more landmarks, player submitted landmarks, similar to the player or community supported fittings, which are hopefully coming soon, which they've done all the background coding for. They've just got like an third corporation that the ISDs will be able to put fittings in, and then they'll make that fitting tool available to everyone. So it'll show up as a third tab besides your personal corporation. There'll be a suggested community fittings tool. And you'll be able to submit fittings to the ISD, and then they'll vouch for them. They'll make sure they fit and they work, and then they'll put them in the game.
That could go both ways. You can see some really good fittings go through and some really bad ones go through.
Well, if it's CCP that looks at it, I'm sure that the people who look at it will know that particular area. But what I'm really interested in is people have been talking about maybe making it so that the person who makes the fit, i.e. Suetonia, because he's going to be making all of them, right, can put notes in about the fit saying when to use it, what it's good at, and how you want to use it, right?
Definitely. That was definitely a part of it.
Nice.
Because you don't want to have a brawling ship and then try to kite with it, right? It's not going to make any sense to a new player.
Right. Or have like a mission ship and try and PvP with it because it looked cool.
Right. So like I thought down the same pathway you could have player submitted landmarks and event kind of location beacons instead of just the abandoned Kaldari structure. And then we could start to seed the universe with our history as long as it's approved by an ISD, because we don't want to use up developer bandwidth on just little things that small pieces of the community are going to stumble upon every once in a while.
Okay, so any other ones that we haven't covered?
There was an impression I got from the module and fittings roundtable that there are more players in level 4 missions, level 3 missions, who just don't like doing level 4 missions, so they just fly level 3 missions in assault frigates, than there are super pilots.
That sounds ridiculous.
Yeah, high sec, most of the players.
Like when I did high sec, I always would strive for level 4 missions. Why would I want to do level 3s? In assault frigates?
Yep, they observe them.
That That
It's
sounds
faster.
ridiculous.
To be honest, it's just faster.
What? I mean, okay, I guess that's true, but I guess when I was doing high sec stuff, I didn't really. My goal wasn't to be faster. I was just kind of doing the mind-numbing task of doing missions.
It's a lot of missions have you make jumps, God knows how far away, and most people use battleships for level 4s, right? Well, doing those jumps just takes ages in a battleship, and then you have to chew through so many battleship NPCs. And then level 3, I think the highest one you get is like 1 or 2 battle cruisers.
Okay, fair enough.
I'll think of some more things, but that's all I can think about off the top of my head.
Okay, so the next thing I had in the notes was I've flown some NPSI missions with Grey Gal, and I know she was a big part of the volunteer team. So bless her heart for that. But when I saw her on stream, I thought, wow, she really is a Grey Gal. She very much is. So I guess that's where she got her name. She's a very nice gray-haired gal. But she was on one of the breaks with Dunk Dinkle and Mimic, and they were talking about some of the efforts that they were doing for the volunteer team, and they did a lot of work, as you'll see in the numbers for the money that they brought in for the buttons they made later. We'll talk about that. But the next big thing was the events and the agency with Puncturus. They had a lot of stuff to say in that little discussion. So let's see. Anybody go to that?
I missed the first part, which looks like it was
Okay.
important.
Yeah. So they had Team Event Horizon, and they were going on. They're talking about purpose and what kind of future iterations they want to do, how they're going to scale the agency. They're talking about like kill one pirate, you get 10 points. Kill two, you get 15. Kill 5, you get more and more points. So it's a scaling kind of thing. So you don't feel like, oh my god, I just have to kill these pirates over and over again. I'll get the same thing. It'll scale as you go along. And then, of course, talking about future events, Crimson Harvest, we've done this before. Battleship Brawl, which is the new thing. I don't know what that's going to be. The Uli Festival for New Year's. Guardians Gala, which coincides with Valentine's Day. And Capsuleer Day, what does that coincide with? I don't know. I don't know what it does. But you're gonna see you're gonna see the same events you've seen over the past year and a half kind of reiterate.
I may have an investment into Crimson Harvest boosters that I'm hoping pays out.
Oh, can you reuse them? The ones from the year before?
I'm hoping they're lazy and don't recode them.
That would be something, because I might have a few of those left over.
Aren't they expired?
They are.
No, but they could be. But what if they're only active for that event, and if they're redoing the event?
I'm. It's a wild shot. Don't follow me. Don't market speculate with me. I'm just taking a wild shot.
You heard it here, folks. You heard it here. Meridud says keep all your boosters.
Don't you mean buy all the boosters?
Yeah. No.
Capsuleer Day, Tom says, is coinciding with Eve's birthday.
Yes, you are right. Thank you very much, Tums.
Last year we got the pod skin for it, the red and blue one.
That's true. That's true. I do have that one. That is true.
I have the gold pod. All other pods are beneath me.
Yeah, I've got all those pods. The Potty Make Podsters.
Oh man, I didn't complain about skins auto-fixing to your ship when you get into them.
What?
Like when you get into your capsule, you go back to your basic skin.
Yeah.
Isn't that because it's technically a new ship.
New pod, yeah.
Yeah, the only one that doesn't swap is the gold pod.
Genolution.
No, Genolution, yeah.
It's because it's actually an implant.
Mhm.
There has to be another fix. There has to be another way.
Be a complainer.
That's like the problem with skins on Citadels. Apparently, skins are attached to players, and structures are attached to corporations. So corporations don't have a skin set.
Well, now that you kind of mention it, well, it's kind of further along, but that is coming. You saw that, right?
Tell me more.
Please tell me you saw that.
The banners?
Yes, the banners.
Okay, we'll save it for that section.
Okay, so let's see. Up next was the user interface and user experience, which is done by Team Psycho Sisters. They talked about the new events map, and they're talking about. I'm sure some of you guys have seen this. They're going to show, not like it's not a map like it's a map, and it's not like the goal. What was that goal thing where you had goals?
Oh, the new player kind of like do 5 things and then move on. Here's 3 more things you could do.
Yeah.
And then it moves.
So not like that. It's going to actually show you kind of things you can do in your area. It's going to show events, resource wars, anoms, belts, what type of hostiles are in what kind of area, what type of damage it does to those hostile, or what kind of damage you need to do to them, or what shield resist they have, incursions, faction warfare. It's gonna list all those things, and you can select what you want to see, and then it'll show you where it is, etc. So it's gonna be kind of like that social aspect where you can be like, oh, I know, I want to go do mining, so I'm going to go find other mining events and do mining things with mining people, etc. So it's going to be a replacement for the agent finder.
FC, can I bring my Manticore for the mining event?
Yes, absolutely.
Love you.
You mean the officer fit one?
You leave my
Obviously.
Kaikas modified out of this.
I watched a video of Asherothi and one of his corp mates running one of the Resource Wars sites on CC today. And I was pretty impressed with how it played out. I know we talked about it briefly yesterday, the Resource Wars from CCB Burger, who gave that presentation. But like the functionality within the site is actually really cool. Like you have to keep fighting off the rats with the new AI. You can be mining, and when you mine and you finish the rock explodes instead of just disappearing. So you know you've completed your cycle on that rock. It's really easy to mine the rock out, and then you have to run stuff over to the Orca or the hauler and drop stuff off, and you can bump the hauler, you could disrupt the players trying to mine, you could disrupt the players trying to kill their rats, and I mean, it's capped out on number of people who can be in the site. So it's really easy for them to control the level of content.
Yeah, what does that mean by they cap out how many players can be in there? Like, how's that a thing?
So I think there's a new Stargate, first of all. There's like a new acceleration gate model for you to throw you into these sites. You land in the site, you have a new chat window, so you can just chat with the people who are in your site with you, just like when you jump into an incursion system. And then that's it. Like there will be no more people can use the acceleration gate if the site is full. Now, CCP doesn't want to counteract the sandbox elements of Eve, so you can still get around it if you're very crafty. But these sites are like meant to be 10 minutes.
Yeah, I'd probably try to go in and crash the party.
Is it possible to cloak in there?
Oh, I hope so.
Better question. Combat probes, go.
That's what I'm saying. Combat probe in there, cloak around, and get crazy with it.
So I don't know all these features yet, but this is high sec, so you're probably going to need like catalysts or something to throw at these guys.
Is it only high sec?
Yeah.
Resource Wars is just high sec, yes.
Beam coercers would probably work better than catalysts.
Debatable. But
considering if you're warping into a site, I'd expect it to be like an acceleration gate if only a certain amount of people can be in there, right? So if it's that kind of thing, then just like if you want to gank in an incursion, when you warp into the site, you might be way off of all the dudes who you're looking to gank, and you might need a little extra range before the rats can kill you.
Yes, they are. It is an acceleration gate. The level ones, they did a one level one, and it was 2 players max, and they only had to fill one hauler, and they did the mining in adventure and the combat in an Ishkur, I think. It was pretty easy. They got not super easy. They got actually quite down low. Like you needed to fit a ripper. You needed to know how to deal with the rats. Like they were moving around field. They warp in at range. Same AI as we can expect from the newer agency sites or the mining fleet kind of guys.
So it's a primer.
And the rats fight each other too.
what?
Nice.
Yeah, like with the new AI, they can actually get the rats to fight each other instead of like in missions, where in a typical mission now, if you see 2 NPC factions fighting each other, it's just timed events. So ships will just explode no matter how much damage they've taken because it's scripted. But this is actual NPCs fighting NPCs.
Sexy.
And you're right, this is a test bed again, so they're going to take what they learn from these sites and further iterate on it and maybe hopefully make more challenging missions. I could see combat missions being the next place they want to put this in. And if we take what was just in that last presentation we talked about with wanting to get points per pirate kill, I could see missions moving towards a number of pirate kills in a certain amount of time or over a certain duration and killing them fast enough to reach a certain reward. And that could be all different triggers and mechanics that you could put into a combat mission.
With the NPCs fighting each other, I want to see how they rework the when worlds collide mission. That's when you have the 2 jump gates that go to either pirate faction that's in this mission. In the mission, they're just yelling at each other. You kill them all.
In one of the roundtables, they mentioned that on an internal computer, they spawned 500 of each rat type and just let them fight it out.
And Gurist has won every time.
Damn.
No, they just used a lot of AI, and it just was running very, very hot.
That would be very cool, especially with the new mechanics where they have the NPCs split up into DPS, logic, and all that.
Apparently, the most challenging feature they're having right now is 3-dimensional space and where fleets are orbiting. Like intuitively, when you're flying in to tackle someone, you know that they're moving at that speed and at that distance, and you know that they're going to probably align out to a position, so you can move your fleet in a way or move yourself in a way that you can get the tackle or get DPS, stay at a range of the threatening people, but get in range of the vulnerable people. And it's really hard to program that in AI, apparently.
I wonder what the logic would be in deciding, which faction aggresses which other faction,
Well, if they can overcome the barrier which currently exists right now in the AI, where when you move an NPC from one system to another, they have to just respawn a new NPC. If they can eliminate the barrier by putting the NPC AI, especially how much damage and what's in the ship, onto the ESI, and then they can move it off monolith, then you can hold that piece of information from system to system, and then rats can start to do things from system to system in a roaming nature, whether that's hunting you or moving around and attacking a certain criminal or following people around HiSec.
Imagine killing a rat that has like 10 bill worth of someone's mods it killed earlier.
Whoa.
That would be amazing for drifter battleships going wormhole to wormhole through a wormhole space.
Yeah.
Speaking of 10 bill, Nam, how's that work wall doing?
It's dead.
Gucci.
So there's 2 more things down that path. The Circadian Seekers, they're now the Athansian Lancers, already have the mechanics built in to pick up corpses. So they can already program AI to loot things. And the second one is that the new forward operating bases, if left unharassed, the AI is going to get bored and start to make content for themselves by attacking player structures that are vulnerable in the system that the fob is in.
So what players should be doing?
What they should be doing, but perhaps there's a blue donut around that system. But the Sanchos have no friends. The Goristas have no friends, encapsulators. So,
Well, I like them.
well, you can fight on their side. And especially in mining operations, if you go in and fight on their side, they can rep you. Apparently, that's an Easter egg of the mining operations. They'll like rep you and support you.
Oh, wouldn't the mining fleets do that?
If you have great faction standing with the pirates.
Gotcha.
And today from CC, there was the information on the actual value of these forward operating bases, which is 750 mil in total for them and 30 mil max per pilot.
Huh.
Which, relative to incursion payouts, I don't think is that great.
I mean, 30 mil for under an hour's worth of effort.
Yeah, if you can do it in a few minutes, I mean, it's not that bad.
I
They're
live in a wormhole.
they're living to throttle that, or they're wanting to throttle that content to be 10-man content. So, having 25 guys in there and everybody getting 30 max, like.
But that value is just the ISK you get from it. There's also drops from it, items, skins, and whatnot.
True.
Okay, so let's see. After that, then we had a Dunk Dinkle versus Doom Chinchilla 1v1. Not at a sun, but let's see. We had Dunk Dinkle. He had a rupture with drones. It was a mixture of a missile and an arty fit. Lots of shield and not enough missiles in the cargo. As we saw, he ran out of missiles. And then Doom was not in a Rork wall, but a Mauler, nonetheless. No prop mod. He had a target disruptor and beams. Anybody watch that, either live or on stream?
It sounds autistic. I'd rather not.
It was like, I mean, they just had like literally a minute or so to pick. I guess they had like a randomize what they had to pick as far as racial ship, and then they just picked random shit, start throwing it in there, and go out and do it.
My question is, were they drunk during this time?
No, it was like a little bit after noon, so they could have, but I don't think they were. But it was pretty good. Doom Chinchilla took the win on that one. And Claire is posting some Doom Chinchilla stuff in our Discord chat. We all know I'm not a big fan of Doom Chinchilla, but he seems like a nice guy, but he was kind of a douche canoe in here once or twice. Anyway, so Doom Chinchilla took the win on that one. And the next segment in the stream was Max Singularity, also known as Charles White. He is the Space Pope. And he had a presentation on the physics of Eve.
I did meet Doom Chinchilla while I was there, and I did bring up the one time he brought all the PL and Horde guys to our server. He got a good laugh out of it. He says he does that to lots of groups who leave.
I'm sure.
The open invite on @everyone commands available.
I mean, it's not like we're like a corporation or an alliance where we don't want anybody to know our secret stuff. It's a social atmosphere. Of course, we want everyone to come in.
It was the @everyone command being available to all new members. That was the thing.
It's the same as saying, "Oh, well, you left your car unlocked, so I just took your wallet."
Yeah.
Social decency, people.
Eve players have none.
Anyways, he was quite nice. But yes, the Charles White presentation was very, very good.
I got to kiss the ring.
Oh, God.
Just the ring.
NDA.
His presentation was very good, applying physics type evaluations to the physics we experience in Eve and applying it to in-game lore things.
Not only was it really good as far as that goes, but we did discover that Max Singularity / Charles White is indeed a thug-ass gangster.
He ain't choose the life chose him.
It really did. I mean, the man's making the world's largest art car / DJ booth. So that's awesome. And I guess the ladies just flock to him like I don't even know. I can't even describe what they do, but they're just all over the man.
That guy's straight out of Burning Man.
The popes love
Straight
the
out of
loving.
it. It's true.
Yeah, it was fun the way like he pulled the physics together to like, this is how we warp, and this is how we cloak, and this is how we warp through objects, which it was always like, why are we doing that shit?
It's true.
And it was outside of all the different other games and fantasy novels, the way that objects moved. It was cool that it was unique and unique to Eve. Dave, I'm always concerned there's Cloaky Proteus behind me. Like, it's just something I learned from wormholers, even though they don't exist.
I mean, 83.7% of all wormhole space consists of cloaked protei.
You know, since Sound the Horn in the chat said the physics of Eve talk was really cool and most entertaining, I'm going to give him an air horn.
You are the worst.
Autism.
You're welcome. But yeah, so it was good. It was good stuff. The only thing I'm wondering is the physics of how, when we're anchored on somebody, how there's like a bajillion ships just crammed into one spot in a geophysical location in space. That's a little weird.
Nanites.
Space magic.
Jove did it.
Kick Swad.
So yeah, let's see. After that was the presentation on Spark. I don't care about that. Anybody play it?
I did play it.
I did.
How was it?
It was quite a bit of fun. Unlike a lot of VR things where you kind of stand in one spot and kind of wave your arms a bit, you do have to move a good bit. You have to dodge whatever's coming at you and then try to hit the other person with your ball. It is actually a workout.
Yeah, I think I raved about it last show. I really enjoyed it. It reminded me of a game I used to play in real life where we shot arrows at each other and you had to like duck, dodge, and shoot while you're blocking and trying to pay attention to your opponent. And Spark had the same feel to me. And then with the whole like real life, where things are in real space time, it just brought it really... It was really intuitive and it was really fun. And after like the first game where I just kept mashing all of the buttons at once, which isn't good on the PlayStation, once I got that figured out, I had a lot of fun and I really wanted to play more. I was sad they shut it down so early on Sunday. If my wife was into it, I think I might get a PSVR. Maybe.
Maybe.
You can always hope.
I think there might be one at like maybe at a Best Buy or something. I can go try it with her.
You guys have that up there.
We do?
Very nice. Okay, so let's see. Spark presentation, and there was Eve Valkyrie with Manic Velocity. He did a little tester with the non-VR version, which, as you know, I've been playing quite a little bit, so that was fun to watch on a break. Followed up by the Art of Eve. Now, this is where we get into the cool stuff.
I did see Manic Velocity fight Elise Randolph in the Battle Station 1v1 duel, and that was quite amusing because Manic didn't fit rigs or cap boosters into his cap booster, and then took all small drones and a Vexor against another Vexor.
Oh no.
Only makes sense.
I wanted to save him so bad.
So into the art, they had a little bit of talk on the V5 shader. As we know, this is their next rendition of the shader models that they've been working on slowly but surely, changing ships to have more shadows, lighting, uh, smoother shapes, etc. Which was really cool to see how they're kind of evolving that. Which is evolving past ships to asteroids and planets and stars and all that. So it's kind of neat to see how they're working that into new animations and new effects.
Yeah, they only have a few items left to put the V5 shader on. It's like 20 or something of 750.
Not bad, not bad at all. Another cool thing that they did was the reflexivity of around stations. So they're talking about like lights and how the sun kind of reflects off the station. So it looked pretty neat. They're getting quite more gorgeous than I thought Eve already was.
Yeah, I think one thing around them finishing the V5 shader pass is they're able to pull out some old shaders or models or technical jargon that'll actually make the game run faster and smoother. And they're definitely previewing new effects that they can do as far as like the asteroids within Resource Wars that glow, the new explosions around the mining laser when you blow up the whole rock and make your asteroid field. They have different explosions there.
Yeah. Those explosions, like when a citadel explodes, I have to turn away from my monitors. That's bright.
Yeah, and then all kinds of cool new effects that they're adding to the ship models and the ship model redesigns. They're adding new effects there. So as they upgrade their shaders and they're able to play around with new toys and new tools, they can make all our ships look cooler than they already are. Which I now know because I have a nice computer.
Isn't it nice?
It's better than potatoes.
It is.
I live that potato life.
Yeah, I do that when I'm deployed on my laptop. It sucks.
Have a good computer. Explosion's pretty.
It's a fun game though when docking, having people and ask them how many kill marks I have on a ship.
I have a hard time finding those kill marks.
There's a website somewhere.
Yes,
There-
is a
yeah.
website, but I still cannot find them on certain ships. Like the Hecate, I still can't figure out where they are.
Well, you have to actually kill ships though, Kale.
Oh, that's the trick.
Wrecking
Yeah.
shots.
Shots fired.
I'm still
There's the-
looking for that volume button you people talked about.
Mama, thank you very much for the link on the site for that. It's mossworks.xyz/killmarks. Yeah, but then the cool thing, like we alluded to earlier, was the banners, which will be over ships and well, not stations, but ships and citadels. It's like a concave banner that kind of goes over the ship. They showed one, I believe it was the Vector that they showed.
Ishtar.
It was the Ishtar, so it was kind of just like a banner that kind of went over the top, and it was like an offset holographic display that showed the Alliance logo, which was really freaking cool.
Yeah, so I think these things were none of these things were promised, but the art department is working them up so that they can potentially add them.
It needs to be a thing.
Yeah, it looked really good.
Are you telling me my Ishtar can get even more swaggered?
Right?
So yeah, I think this is moving towards like having banners on your ships or having logos on your ships. Maybe they won't be able to do like Alliance logos hard on your ship right away, but maybe if you could have your Alliance logo on the banner, or if
I dig that. That's totally cool. It just looked cool the way it was like just offset and like a little holographic kind of display.
or if you're in faction warfare, you could fly your like corp your like alliance that your faction flag behind you.
Yes.
And then they also talked about adding that onto structures. So the one that was most interesting to me was the putting it on the Stargates, where at level 1 you could just have vertical banners coming off the corners. But as you got leveled it up, level 2, 3, 4, you could have your whole icon bannered over your Stargate. So the experience they're going for there is when you come home from a fleet roam or you're warping back to your home system, you'd have your full banner over the gate, like welcome home, welcome back to your space.
God, that'd be cool. That would just pump a fleet up, you know.
I mean, it makes your space all that more ominous, right? Like if you could anchor signs, or if you could upgrade your Stargates, and when I hit that ZXB wall and I warp into Goon space, and I know there's supers, I know there's supers. They're just hiding everywhere. They're warping gate to gate. They're everywhere. But if there was like actual signs, it'd be like, danger, warning, supers past here.
Ooh.
Cloaked supers.
Get wrecked, bombs. You're about to enter a gate camp.
I mean, if you could get to the point where it's like Dark Souls and you could leave messages for other people, like ghosts of Capsuleers past.
Yeah, but that's running into dangerous territories, because that's when we start doing ASCII penises everywhere.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because our corp motto is "Don't be shit." So if you allow me to put that over a gate.
I mean, can anybody in here really say that they haven't drawn a penis with a bunch of mobile depots outside of their enemy station?
I draw a thorax.
Isn't that like the same thing?
That's very phallic, one might say.
It's incredibly phallic, but it's still a thorax.
You're right.
Technicalities.
Also, Murda, what's this space you speak of? I don't own any Sov.
Yeah.
What's sovereignty?
No Sov.
Best Sov.
So, besides that, they had a lot of future user interface changes. With like, um, especially like in the map, you're looking at different icons. Just a lot of things in the user. Like they showed like a mock-up of what, like a in-game, or not in-game, but as you're looking at the screen, you can see like different overlays, I guess, different overlays as far as what you can see and how things are displayed. It was very interesting.
Yeah, I think the coolest one as far as their UI changes they were suggesting or recommending was the mock-ups of changing your icons within your ship hangar to show your tier, your faction, your proficiency perhaps, how many high slots or low slots, the name, and then unique icons that differentiate them than just like the small model on the colored background of the faction they are, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, lots of different changes that are potential, which I hope so, because that actually looks very sleek and streamlined and futuristic, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, some of those old UI things, like especially when they were talking about the agency as far as the mission finders and stuff like that, I was thinking about it at length. It's like the journal is super old and super useless. Like, I have no clue I couldn't name the 10 tabs if you fucking paid me. There's probably more than that. I don't even know. But, like, there are sub-tabs within the tabs, and there's information in there that you would never think of being information in a journal. Like, it's so dumb. So, them moving to eliminate the journal and put that information in useful places, and so it's easier to read, is really cool.
Yeah.
Nama must have tackled another super.
All right. No, he said there was a Discord issue. So yeah, after that,
Got it.
they talked about some lighting effects for the beams and micro warp drive. So I think they kind of talked about that earlier in a few other dev blogs, but it just kind of showed how, as you're flying through space, you can kind of see the stream of where your like micro warp drive and afterburners are going. They just showed how the ship kind of starts lighting up, and then the beam pops out, and reflections go around. So that was really neat. And then the thing that really kind of I couldn't wrap my brain around is had a lot of detailed character models, like super detailed. It almost looked like you ever watched that Final Fantasy movie where you didn't really realize it was CGI until a few minutes into it, and you're like, "Oh crap, that's not real people," or like Beowulf style. It almost looked like that realistic. So I don't know why they want to work on character models and add a shit ton of apparel.
Advent Children, I
Like
think
what?
is the
Like
movie.
why are we doing that? Like yeah, it's Advent Children, but why are we adding more apparel and higher resolution character models?
I thought we were past that after Walking Station failed, resulted in all the protests and riots from the
Right.
and
So
especially now since they removed the actual captain's quarters area.
yeah, so that's how they finished up the art of Eve, was with character models and a shit ton of clothing.
So one thing they are trying to bring into the game is the option, as well as banners, is to create statues of yourself. So you could have a full fucking Titan-sized statue of yourself outside your Astra house if you wanted. You could have your whole AT team lined up in front of the Keepstar as fucking heroes of your alliance.
Can I have a statue made of Creature
Sure.
Yes, you may.
so I can hug him every day?
Yo, some of those videos from Vegas were disturbing.
I'm guessing you saw the creature one.
Yeah, I did.
The other places they're using the live character models is in the character screen. You can see your face or your body. And the other place is in missions. Perhaps they're going to be able to put character models into the missions as like a 3D representation of their face. Because hopefully they're going to get to the point where corporations or alliances could offer their own missions.
And you still see people use the avatars and stuff like that for propaganda and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
People like me, I spend 4 hours on my character creation menu.
I mean, it's kind of superfluous, but the reason for the detail, I think, is because you're never going to have a million of those character models on screen at the same time. It's going to be local. It's going to be on your box only. And they want Eve to look nice. Moving forward, they always want it to look nice.
It's another async. It's another thing to destroy.
Yeah. How many people are going to sign up to kill the Matani statue?
Not me. I don't have time for that. Oh, there's the. Hold on. Let me get that link.
Oh, God.
It is loud and moderately not safe for work.
I mean, it depends on where you work. I'm in the army. I can kind of get away with that.
Until someone doesn't like it.
Sharp. Anyway, so after the weirdness of having lots of apparel and highly detailed character models, we rolled into the finale. I will give a few seconds so you can watch the John Draper creature video.
I have it bookmarked.
You should, as you should.
We have a Discord bot. It's going to be posting it soon.
That makes sense. So they kind of went over, or they talked about the moon seeding contest. I didn't. What was the results for that? Does anybody know?
It was the a sign was lit poem.
So how were they using that as an algorithm or what?
That is part of the seed, and then the other part of the seed was they took a picture in both the auditorium and the social room, and then they're going to use the ASCII output of that to feed into the algorithm.
Oh, okay. So at the beginning of the whole Vegas thing, they had like a contest of different quotes or something you'd want to help in the algorithm of what will seed the moon goo-ness. So they had that quote, and then apparently an ASCII algorithm of the picture, which will determine how the moons are seeded upon that release. And then they had the Aurora contest. So there's a couple players that won something. I believe they won some Galaxy S8s.
I think that's correct.
Yeah, so they had two players won a Samsung Galaxy S8. They didn't say who it was. I believe they just tweeted it out or something, or said their player name. I don't know. Let's see. Then the charity giveaway. I gave away those winners. I didn't catch those names. I think they just called like the ticket numbers. Does anybody know who won that? Because I think they just read off the ticket numbers.
They did. The person who won the trip to FanFest was a pilot from Horde, and she posted an AMA on Reddit if you wanted to go track her name down.
Nice. So there was that trip, and then there was the 15 years
15 years of Omega time, so 90,000 plex. There was one of every piece of your favorite apparel in the game, and there was one of every skin in the game, minus like the IGC and the Alliance Tournament Victory skins.
I think I would have gone with the 15 years of Omega time. That would have been my pick if I had a choice.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be all bundled together for some dumb reason, but they just did it for each ticket, won a different price. And there was a kind of impromptu vote to see whether players liked the prizes that were in-game prizes or out-of-game prizes. Like last year, they had Titan graphics cards, and the opinion was towards in-game items. So, keeping in mind, the CCP has also stated that their interest in supporting local player meets through CCP powers. And Hilmar said specifically money, effort, time. So perhaps like in-game rewards or in-game codes will be coming to player meets for player meet organizers to give away. So if you
that would be really cool.
Yeah.
I could really see that expanding the amount of player meetups you'd see too.
Oh, for sure.
Fist fights over code cards, yeah. That'd be amusing. But yeah, if you have a good player meet and you weren't mentioned on the stream, you should contact Falcon and say we have this many people and we meet on a regular basis, and I would like some swag to give away at our meets.
Okay, since Mr. Sound the Horns has just followed us.
Don't do it. No.
Please. Stop.
That's an obvious bait name.
Oh.
You bastard.
You were warned.
Thank you, Sounds the Horn.
We were horned.
All right. So then they followed it up with all the charities that they were given to. $8,600 to Able Gamers, plus another $5,000 to, I guess there was a charity auction or something for the Blade Runner premiere, and then another $2,400 that was earned by Grey Gal and her staff that did all the button makings. I guess if you wanted your avatar created as a button pin, they would do that. So they raised $2,400. And then, of course, CCP matched that $5,000 to the Vegas Strong charity, which went towards the victims of the Las Vegas shooting that happened the Monday before Vegas.
Can I say something about the pin donation one? I was talking with Greg Al earlier on the Vegas Discord, and she said that the highest donation per person was $50, but a majority, and I mean a majority of the donations were solid $20 bills.
I would imagine I would do that too. That sounds pretty solid.
I felt proud
Yeah.
because I was one of those 20s.
The EVE community is really good at being donators. I mean, we're all majority mature players, so we have incomes, we have disposable incomes. So charity comes easily to us.
Yeah, so if you're doing the math on that, that's about $20,000 worth of charity. Now, I will remind people that I'm a very big person on as far as the what's it called, the Humble Bundle. I like using the Humble Bundle, the monthly service, but I often go on there and like I'll pay $1 here and there for some sort of software, or $5 for some sort of cool like bundle. So if you do the humblebundle.com deals, they oftentimes will give away to able gamers as well. So if you're into that, I suggest checking it out. A lot of good deals on there. Anyways.
I'd like to give a negative shout out to the elevators at the link. We were talking about this in Discord yesterday.
Yep.
They were garbage. They were like,
I agree.
there was like a bank of 4 and then a bank of 2, and like the bank of 4 took forever. And at one point, like one of the elevators was saying down was up and up was down. You needed to card swipe into the elevator, but your card wasn't locked to your particular floor, so you could card swipe anyone to any floor. It didn't really matter. Like, there was no security aspect to it.
It took forever. I guarantee you I waited 10 to 15 minutes multiple times.
And then the elevator was secure, or you couldn't take the stairs down to the casino floor. Like, I don't know where the stairs took you, but you just couldn't stairs down from your suite down to the floor, like the casino floor. So, like, you couldn't get around the elevator. You had to wait for it. It was terrible. The other crazy part was the opening day on the lineup when you got your badges. Holy fuck, that line when I showed up there at 11:30. Insane. There was a line like at least 400 people long to get their badges right at 11 o'clock. I just said fuck it, went and got another drink and waited till like 12:30, and then it was down to like 15 people. So shout out to all the volunteers who were running those tables. They for some reason broke it up into you had to get your card, and then you had to get your wristband, and then you had to get your shirt, and then you had to get your code and your swag bag. That was yeah,
First world problems.
Inefficient. But thank you to all the volunteers who ran those tables. Really appreciate it. And they stuffed the bags, even though they got like swag late Friday night from like all of the people coming in Friday night. They stuffed all those bags till like super late on Friday night to make sure that it was all ready for Saturday.
Well, bless their hearts.
Or Thursday. That was Thursday, Friday. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. I forgot my swag bag in the apartment when I left.
Thank you, Stuffs.
Yeah, I also forgot my backpack, of which no one managed to take with them.
How high were you?
The whole way, probably.
Yeah. Well, I packed the bag I came with, but I spent $300 in the line for all of the Eve apparel stuff, and I walked away with a $20 hat that was broken.
Have you actually recovered yet?
Define recovered.
Are you relatively close to where you were when you left?
Not
when
even.
you left your home?
I've noticed half my words are still pretty slurred.
That will happen.
My voice is definitely not 100%.
I think I might be there by tomorrow. But like, it's still days later.
I was trying to do some hexadecimal bullshit today at work, and I walked away. I'm done.
There was some pretty cool swag in the store too, and if you weren't there, you can always go to the Eve store online and buy that stuff. There was like a drone ledger journal, which had a really funny slogan on the front about losing your drones and remembering to pick them up. There was some flasks, like a flask for like the different factions, all 4 factions on it. There was a new shirt that said it was a blue shirt with a blue and yellow icon on it. No, what color shirt was it? It was... Fuck it. It had a blue and yellow icon of the Warp Scrambler on it, and it said, "Going somewhere?" With a question mark. It was funny.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the shirt I would have bought if I didn't snag a permaband shirt during the Saturday night party.
I mean, you can say you stole it, didn't you?
No. It was one of the ones thrown to the crowd.
I mean, whatever you guys say, we're done.
Okay, I stole it straight off guard's back. It was sweaty.
I believe that.
Take it at night and sniff it.
Never gonna wash it.
Never.
Okay.
I love you, guard.
What?
Nothing.
Bye, Buffalo.
Okay. Have we exhausted all of what we can think of with our
Yes.
mostly broken minds?
Okay. 2 things I want to point out. CCP Mimic is gorgeous, and she had beautiful hair, and I loved it. I wish I could have been there near her. But also, CCP Red Cape is smoking hot.
A creeper a little bit, but okay.
No, not at all.
I wish I could have been there near her.
Yeah, to shake
Play
her
that
hand and say
back.
thank you for your service.
Mm-hmm.
Carker number 1.
Hmm.
Let me tell you about guard again.
Oh,
He's small, but he's full of energy.
very, very agile.
Jesus. Hey, Logi Bro became my best bro. I had a test to get one of those challenge coins from Test. Get the dino on the back of his shirt. All I had to do was ask.
So I will say here that I'm pretty sure a lot of people saw that there were test dino stickers on both presenters for the finale closing. And we had kind of a contest among the test table to see how many dino stickers we can get on the shirts of people throughout the entire event. And part of that was we wanted to get stickers on the 2 final presenters. That was the number 1 thing we wanted to happen.
I definitely got stickered.
Mm-hmm. Twice. You're welcome.
Twice. It's gonna come off in my washing machine. I didn't take them off.
There was this one dude who was sitting 2 tables down from the test table in the break room. Passed the fuck out. I pat him on the back to see how he's doing and walk away. Dinoed.
Another little shout out to the initiative guys who I was sitting there talking with in one of our booths when we took Sov in 3535 for a little while. And they were super envious of the Mercenary Coalition had these amazing metal challenge coins. And they really, really wanted to take one. Really, really bad. So at one point they ended up stealing the identity of one of the unaffiliated guys. Like, took his name tag, put it on, and then wandered over to the MC guys to attempt to swindle them out of a challenge coin. He unsuccessfully just got like a sticker or a card or something, but each MC guy who came got one of those challenge coins for being an MC. They were really pretty.
Yep. I got a pin.
I got one of those. Oh, not from MC. From Test I did.
I got all of the legacy pins, the test challenge coin, 2 test dino pins, and the MC pin.
Those coins are surprisingly expensive to make. They cost about $9-10 per.
Yeah, they were nice. Lots of color, good weight to them, quite big.
I'm actually already planning the no-solve swagger for next year. We're going to have... It's either going to be a no-solve or a NATO coin but on the back of it, it's going to have an homage to Test FC, Best FC. We all took the hole. Not all of us made it. The hole closes behind us.
Are we gonna get shirts?
No shirts, but we will have flags.
Good enough.
One step at a time there, Knight.
Anyway, so before we roll into shout outs, I've got a few things that I want to pitch. Number one is the Eve Dublin meetup is going to be October 20th and 21st. I'll go ahead and link that here in a moment. And then I would like to also do an open call. We are going to definitely be looking for another co-host for the Mind Clash podcast, as over the next few weeks and really over the next few months, as I'm doing training with the Army, we're going to be I'm kind of ramping up for deployment to Iraq, so I'm more than likely not going to be around quite a bit. So hopefully we're looking for somebody who has no problem with being on air, has no problem with doing all the tweets, and maybe even doing some editing as far as the podcast goes. So if you are interested in doing that, please go ahead and tweet us at MindClash or hit us in game at Kill Decadence or Miradad, either way. But
in the
yeah,
Discord would be best, probably, for me.
yeah, in the Discord as well. So we'll go ahead and link that also. But it's going to be really hard for me over the next few weeks. In fact, this next Monday, and the Monday after, I don't even know if I'm going to be available. So we're definitely looking for somebody who can kind of fill the reins in while I'm gone.
Yeah, come talk to us, and we'll work something out. If you are unsure on any of the hard technical details, we were both terrible at this when we started, and we just learned it as we went, and we will help you through it. If you're enthusiastic and energetic, especially if you're part of a group that we don't regularly talk to, like, we would love to have more voices, more people from different parts of the game regularly on this show. So even if you don't think you can be a host, like, I regularly say it, but please come and hang out with us in our Discord, poke me a bunch of times, and we will make a show about you, your group, your alliance, your playstyle. We'd love to hear about it. We'd love to share your Eve corner to the rest of the game.
Yeah, I mean, clearly anybody who's listened to us that knows that we're not biased. We're not trying to get out to anybody or try to make anyone look bad or make someone else look good. As a matter of fact, I was thinking about a show that we can do in the future on code in particular, and have some code guys come on and talk about what they do and why they do it. We've had scammers, we've had high sec, low sec, wormholers. It doesn't matter. Like, we want to get everybody's opinion. This is a variety.
I'd like to point out how he used past tense before the word bad. See what you did there.
Totally never have any problems ever.
Push all the buttons. We're professionals.
I think LT's having some server connection issues, actually.
Maybe.
Do I sound robotic?
No. So
I fixed it.
Go ahead and roll into the out of shouts and talk about the normal thing we do. Want to do a pitch for a podcast or something that we've been watching lately? We'll start from the top with Orion.
Shout out to TC, Lethal Injection Bros. And if you haven't watched it, watch some Smarter Every Day. It's probably one of the best little YouTube bits I've watched in a long time.
All right, cool. And Stuffs?
I forgot.
He's dead. Stuffs died. Knight, what you got?
Blood drive, no solve. Do it.
Yeah, beautiful, perfect. Yeah, if you haven't checked it already, No Sov is doing like a blood drive type of thing. So if you're interested in donating some blood and you want to help out, check out the No Sov Discord. If you post that link, I'll share it and I'll put it on the show notes, my friend.
Okay, I'm being called out in Discord. I'm gonna stop these shoutouts right now. Fucking Orion, tell me what the fuck you did in fucking Fountain and how you fucked it up.
We did nothing.
Yeah,
Like the article.
I noticed.
Are you done yelling at me?
No.
Basically, it just came to a point. Harvey said that in that article. We just need to move out of Fountain. So we bust all the SOV structures, gave the structures to a third party to sell, and we are currently residing in Zendaya.
So you're saying you lost the full-scale war?
I'm not sure. Whatever makes you all sleep better at night.
I too have made the move to Somalia once before.
Somalia or what? I thought it was Zendaya. She's hot though.
I'm so confused.
Anyways,
when Tess got evicted from Fountain, we also moved to Zendaya, call it Somalia, because we were evicted to the middle of nowhere.
We figured it'd be a good place with the war in the South going on and all that stuff. We just thought it'd be a good area to kind of poke around a little bit and see what we can get done.
Well, Ryan, when you're ready to come back to Fountain, I will sell you a nice system that you can nice and quietly just go back to ratting.
You of all people know I don't do this thing called ratting.
I'll take it. I'll do it.
Okay, your refinery, I'll sell you a moon. It'll be a fair price. You can have the moon over there. You can do your reactions, get some drugs. Anyways, enough trolling.
Thanks, guys.
Cyclo, what's up?
For my shout out, I'd just like to say, make sure you follow the Mind Clash podcast under the name Kale Decadence on YouTube. Over 60 subscribers. Make sure you put in that follow on Twitch, and make sure you go ahead and follow Mind Clash on Twitter as well to keep up with when the show's going live and the happenings on.
Fucking hype, man. I love it.
He's practicing for when he takes your job.
I know, right? Nama, do you have any other shout-outs besides the blood drive?
Test Alliance, Best Alliance, Stratus Recruiting.
I heard they were full.
Never not. Oh, and Kick Suat.
Well, that would make space. Great. My shout out is to all the people I keep forgetting their names of that I met in Vegas. The Digital Vendetta guys, please come talk to me. I had a lot of good times talking with you guys. Please come and chat to me. I definitely want to have that show about roaming here in the future. Freaking Pearl. Pearl was the person who got me drunk on fucking Thursday morning. Oh, God.
Thursday morning, God.
Yeah, he was telling us his story of how he got injured. Or he wasn't got injured, he was sick. He had like a cyst on his kidney. And it swelled up to massive and then ruptured, and then all the fluid filled the sac. And he tried to drive himself to the hospital, and it was a mess. Shout outs to that guy for surviving what could have been a fatality because he was man-stubborn and wouldn't call an ambulance. Shout outs to that guy. Super fun to party with. And everyone else I'm forgetting. I just thank you for making my Vegas so good.
Yep, and for me, yeah, I wish I was there. Unfortunately, it just didn't work out as far as the dates happened, but hopefully I'm obviously going to be in Iraq for the Fan Fest, but I'll definitely be trying to make it to Vegas next year. But I've been listening to the Stuff to Blow Your Mind podcast. And like I said earlier, I was listening to the Timothy Leary and LSD. And I love listening to stuff like that, stuff that just kind of trips you out that you didn't know about, different history podcasts. So definitely the howstuff.com or whatever you want to call it series, howstuffworks.com, and Stuff You Missed in History Class. All those different podcasts on that series is good fun stuff that you might not have listened to otherwise.
Yeah, you should try to push for the Orlando Eve Fan Fest 2019. Be closer to you, eh?
Yeah, I guess so.
Take
Well,
your,
no, Vegas is closer.
hey, you could take your family to Disneyland though.
No, I've already taken to Disney Paris and Disneyland. I don't want to do that again.
Anyways, that's an option for FanFest 2019. They're trying to figure out an East Coast one, but yeah. Yeah. For those of you tuning in on Thursday, we do not regularly record on Thursday, nor do we regularly record on a Tuesday. Monday nights, 7 p.m. Pacific, 10 p.m. Eastern, here on Twitch, mindclash.live for the recordings or for our website. There you can find us in all our different forms, YouTube, video on demands on Twitch, podcasts through Crossing Zebras, through evepodcast.com, and through our personal stuff. Yep. Give us a subscribe on Twitter. Oh, man.
The tweeter.
Subscribe on the Tweeter. We have a Tweeter now for the show. You can also support us through subscription on here on Twitch or through donations on our Patreon. It helps us cover the cost of running the show and then push swag back out to you guys once we break even.
Yep. Also, I'm Pickle Rick.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Pickle Rick.
Thank you all for coming. Thank you all for watching. And we'll catch you on Monday for another episode of Mind Clash Podcast.